Erin Matthies' essay for Social Media and the Possible Effects on Personal Identity. Over the past several decades, there has been a technological revolution. With the advancement of communication opportunities came the possibility for social media and social networking sites. Social media refers to websites that use collaborative virtual applications that enable the creation, exchange, and broadcasting of online user-generated content. It is a broad term that may include websites such as social networking sites, publishing virtual media, content sharing, web chat/discussion, microblogging, live streaming, and virtual worlds. Social media has taken the world by storm with the creation of websites such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and many more. Ultimately, social media and social networking sites are proving to have an impact on the personal identities of its users by changing not only what they think about themselves, but also how they think about themselves. These websites allow individuals to become creators of their own content and contributors to online conversation using the internet or accessible mobile devices. The use of these sites are part of today's culture, but they also have an impact on the formation of personal identities. By using social media and social networking sites, one is able to alter his or her identity and how he or she is perceived by others. This can either be done by filtering what is posted online or by creating an avatar, or computer-generated being, to act through. One perception of using avatars to alter how the user is perceived is called the avatar dream. Harrell and Lim explained that the avatar dream consists of two parts: a technical element enabling users to control a virtual surrogate for themselves in a virtual world, and the second being the experimental element, which enables users of these virtual surrogate selves to have experiences beyond those they encounter in the physical world, ranging from having new abilities to better understanding the experiences of others, such as another gender or even another type of creature. The paper also discusses a social media site named The Well. Here, the real names of users were available, and self-imagination was a central part of the appeal. The Well purportedly offered the freedom of projecting whatever personality you wished, along with the intriguing possibility of highlighting subtle variations of your character. Almost everyone today has a social media account, whether it be for communication between friends, accounts used for online shopping, or a video game character. Despite this widespread use, there is still a problem with the virtual identity systems of today. The avatars and characters used on all these sites are constantly being created and customized, meaning there is a need for intuitive, appropriate, and robust tools that can work toward the goal of avatars representing not only the appearance of the avatar, but also have the same forms of self-expression. The avatar dream essentially consists of a physical identity, a virtual identity, and the blending of these two. Physical identities focus on the visible aspects of a person such as their gender, their race, and their age. These are the aspects that are seen by the eye of an outsider. Often these are the most prominent features of a person as they are easily seen on social networks. The virtual identity of a user also revolves around the avatar's components as technical systems. The research of Harrell and Lim does not focus on these two as separate entities, but rather on the relationship between them. They particularly seek to consider how values are socially and culturally constructed, enacted, and manipulated via blends between physical and virtual identities. The growth of social media and the avatars within have allowed for the spread of content and information from its users. There is little research on the topic of social networking and media. However, there is a challenge of managing both professional and personal online identities. This can mean that the use of social networking sites can change one's perceptions of themselves. The more social networking progresses and its users are able to change their online appearance, the more the line blurs between who the users' avatars are and who the users themselves truly are. Social networking sites such as Facebook and Instagram can impact how users identify themselves on both a physical and a mental level. Facebook is among one of the most commonly used social networking sites in the United States, reporting with more than 1 billion registered users worldwide, essentially doubled from 2 years ago, with 680 million monthly active users having Facebook mobile products with daily continual growth. A national survey indicated that approximately 90% of college students are registered users on Facebook, with 58% actively using it several times a day. A recent study shows that college students are aware of the potential power Facebook has and its ability to negatively impact the user's attitudes and behaviors. There is also an argument that Facebook may have greater influence than traditional media, as Facebook combines the power of interpersonal persuasion with the reach of mass media. The networking site has been described as the most significant advance in persuasion since the radio was invented in the 1890s, and has introduced a new form of persuasion called mass interpersonal persuasion. Part of Facebook's persuasion power can be attributed to the newly coined phrases such as status update and Facebook stalking. Participants in the study often debated whether posts were made to add to the creation of social norms, but one participant said, "I don't think we upload photos to set norms. We upload photos to share and connect with other people, and a byproduct of that is setting social norms." This observation contributes to the conclusion that the use and growing time spent on social media can alter what attitudes and behaviors are perceived as acceptable and desirable. There is a possible explanation where users choose and interact with media based on who they are and who they want to be at that moment. Facebook allows the users to create their own online identity through a profile where they can reflect and alter said identity. Moreno writes, "The ability to develop one's identity in real time provides a unique multimedia view of the self. The invention of new technologies such as smartphones and personal computers has been a large force behind the popularity of social media. While Facebook remains the most popular social networking site among adolescents, it is facing competition from other sites such as Instagram. Recent studies show that 52% of American adolescents use Instagram. The use of social media and networking sites have the ability to alter the personal identities of its user, but in combination to the developmental changes found in adolescence can create a risky environment for mental health. Teens are reporting elevated levels of anxiety and depression, which emphasizes the importance of heightened awareness to symptoms related to the two disorders. Prior research has mainly focused on the relationship between the time spent on Facebook and the impact on mental health of young people. These studies concluded with both positive and negative associations. Studies that were conducted with the same time spent on Instagram also resulted in inconsistent data. Scholars attribute this inconsistency to the complexity of the relationship and multitude of contributing factors. These websites, Facebook and Instagram, have an impact on how users view themselves and others. Social media and networking sites have the ability to alter the identities of its users through comparisons to others as well as what is considered the social norm. Cui defines social identity as the individual's knowledge that he belongs to certain social groups together with some emotional and value significance to him of this group membership. Social identity is based off of a specific individual's intergroup social comparisons. People use these comparisons to either confirm or establish distinctiveness of the in-group to which they belong. The goal of finding this distinctiveness is driven by the need for self-esteem. Cui's research seeks to identify the mechanisms of collective effervescence among viewers of a successful media event and determine whether a strong pre-existing social identity is a prerequisite for this elated emotional reaction. While her research is focused on classical media rather than social media, she still explores the relationship between exposure to said media and the emotional response. Computers today are unable to completely express the subtle differences of physical identities. Despite this, they provide advances in physical world identity categories that have been identified as important by social scientists. These include gender, race, and ethnicity, in addition to one's personality, values, and preferences. One defining feature of humans is their power of imagination. Humans have the ability of self-imagination, but their ability to determine their own identity is often impacted by personal backgrounds. Someone's individual social and cultural histories can constrain their ability to directly understand the experiences of others. Comparisons to others' appearances and experiences can result in an altered personal identity of a social media user. Personal identity varies from individual to individual, but the use of social media and social networking sites has an impact on how these identities are formed, from purposely changing how one's avatar or profile appears to others, to the impact that other profiles can have on a single user. Their identity is constantly changing. Seeking approval on websites such as Facebook and Instagram can change how people view themselves in addition to their own posts and profiles. This all matters because the users of social media need to be aware of the potential risks of losing their self-identity when using social media. By constantly changing how one appears on social media according to the perception of others, creates what seems to be a sort of positive feedback loop of constant changes in everyone's being. By presenting an altered persona, either virtually in games or physically in photographs or web posts, others will see that presentation and subsequently be encouraged to alter their own appearance. If no one retains their individuality after trying to change their identity to fit the social norm, the world could negatively impact the mental health of the youth today, in addition to the loss of unique personalities and appearances. Personal identities are heavily impacted by the use of social media and social networking sites today.